Screw up. So we have the space between, justify between. It's a flex row. And then here, for the width, we did width full. Oh, I put the word width. Should be W auto. There we go. All right, cool. So next we have the border. So that's going to be pretty easy. Let's just go under. So we have the button, then this div. We want to go under that. And let's add the border. I'll just put a comment here. Okay, so border. I'm going to add some margin to the top to push it down. And then we'll do border B, so border bottom. And then border B gray 300. All right, so now we have the border. And then let's see, underneath that, make sure you stay within that div. We're going to have the bottom content, which is going to be the login with, Facebook and Google buttons. So let's do a paragraph. This is going to be the login with. So we'll do a PY6 text small. Let's say font thin. Text is going to be centered, and text is going to be gray 400. And this is going to say or log in with. Okay, so we get that. Then we have the, let's say, bottom buttons container. So this is going to be a flex box, and let's say flex dash column. And let's do space on the X axis is going to be 0. And then space on the Y axis is going to be 6. Okay, and on medium screens, we want to do a flex row. And on medium screens, we want to do space dash X dash 4. And on medium screens, we want to do space dash Y dash 0. Whoa, that doesn't look right. It's because I forgot the dot. There we go. So in here, we're going to have our two buttons. So we'll add this first one. We'll say Facebook. And we do have the, actually, let's put this in a span. So span. Say font thin and Facebook, and then we have the image. So right above it, we're going to have image and images slash, where'd it go? Images slash Facebook. And let's just add a width class to this. So we'll say class width 9. Now we want to add our classes onto the button, which is quite a bit. So we're going to use flex here because we have the image and the text in the span. We want to align that. So items dash center, and let's do justify dash center. And then we'll add, let's say py dash 2 space. Let's say space on the x-axis. We'll do 3, and let's do a border. And for the color, we'll say border dash gray dash 300. We'll make it rounded. And let's do shadow dash small. And let's see what else on hover. So we'll start to add some hover stuff. Let's save that as is, see what that looks like. All right, cool. So on hover, we're going to want the background opacity. We'll do BG opacity 30. All right. Also on hover, I'm going to set the shadow from small to large. And we want to move it as well. So we'll do a translate. So hover and then negative translate dash Y, which is going to bring it up. And we'll do 0.5. And then let's just add in a transition class here. And for the duration, we'll do, 150. And then let's say on medium screens and up, I want the width to be 1/2 or 50%. So if we save that, we make this bigger. So it's only going to take up half. Now the other button is going to be very similar. So I'll just copy the entire button here. We'll just go ahead and copy that down. And then let's just change a couple things. The text is going to say Google, and the image is going to be, I think it's called, yeah, Google PNG. And I think that's it. So let's save that. Okay, and if we make this bigger, then we have our two buttons. All right, cool. So we're just about done. Last thing I want to do is the little close button. Even though this isn't, we're not adding any JavaScript to open and close it, we can at least add the SVG. So I'm going to copy the SVG, and we're just going to put this down below. We're going to go right under the image. You want to be within the main div, because remember up here we set this right here, this div, the card container, has a class of relative. So we do want to stay within that, which ends right here. So let's say this is the just say close button. Okay, and this is going to be a div, and in that div is going to be our SVG. If I go ahead and just save it now, you can see the button down here, but I do have some classes on this SVG. So we have the width 6, height 6. If I remove those, then it gets really big. So we have that, we have the text black, and then I also have a group hover on this. So we do have to add a class of group onto this. So let's go ahead and say class and set, first of all, we'll add the group first. Then we want to make sure we position it absolute. And then as far as the position, I'm going to do negative top dash 5. And let's say right, we'll do right dash 4. So if I save that, you can see it gets placed up there. Now we do want to add, make it a circle. So just to show you, this is what I want it to look like with a circle around it with a background color, like a light gray background. So what I'm going to do is display it as flex so that I can align it in the middle. So item center, and then we're going to do justify dash center, and then let's set the width. We'll do a width of 10 and a height of 10, and then the background we'll do gray dash 200, and let's say rounded dash full because we want it to be a circle. If I save it, it's going to look like that. I do have some other stuff that I want to put on here. So on, let's see, on medium screens, we want to move it, and we also want the color to be white. So what we can do is say on medium screens, let's make the BG dash white, and also on medium screens, we're going to say top 4. Save that, and there we go. Now I would like to add some hover stuff on this, so let's add that. So we'll add, first of all, a cursor pointer, because right now it doesn't change. So let's say on hover, we want this to be cursor dash pointer, and we'll also make it move up a little bit. So on hover, we'll do a negative translate Y, and let's do 0.5, and we'll add in our transition class as well, and then the duration, we'll do duration 150. So now if I hover over it, it kind of, moves up a little bit. Same thing here. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. It's a nice looking, clean looking login form. So if you know Node.js or PHP or whatever, you can go ahead and use this in your projects. All right, so that brings us to the end of the mini projects. Now we're going to get started on the landing page and website projects, which are a little more in depth.